was left out of my brother's wedding party because I'm too big, but still expected to buy my whole family specific clothes as a regular guest. I'm already annoyed. We have some wedding drama and we're gonna decide if we are going to send or keep the invite or if we are returning to sender. I've read that social media has completely changed weddings for the sake of pictures, and I feel like this is happening in my family, so I just need to vent. My brother, 23 male, is getting married. I don't know his future bride super well as they've only been together for 4 months, but she seems nice enough. For context, they are Utah Mormons, so they get sealed in the temple with a small group of people and then have a big reception at the end. They treat the reception like a regular wedding with bridesmaids, groomsmen, all of it pretty much. People who aren't Mormon cannot go into the temple, so they don't get to see the actual marriage. 2 out of 3 of my sisters are ex-Mormon, including me, 26 female, and my older sister, who's 28 female. There are 3 sisters in my family. My brother is very close to all of us and was super excited to tell us that we were all going to be bridesmaids and was telling us how excited he was about it when we helped him with the proposal. About a month after they were engaged, he sent our family group chat a wedding color palette for the dress code. I believed this palette was for the wedding party because, like I mentioned, he explicitly told me that I was a bridesmaid. I asked who all the groomsmen and bridesmaids were. I only asked to clarify to see if my husband was one of his groomsmen, as he and my husband are close and have known each other for over 10 years. He had opened the text but never answered. I mentioned this to my sister, 24 female, and she said that she had been texted by the bride in private that only she was going to be a bridesmaid and not me or my other sister. I was a little hurt, but I know that 3 sisters is a lot. Plus, I know it's the bride and groom's day and it shouldn't be centered around my feelings. When my sister showed me the text from the bride, it said that I wasn't a part of the wedding because I am, quote, too large. I am about 15 pounds overweight due to having my 3rd child 6 months ago, and my sister couldn't be a part of the wedding because of her piercings. She had 4 piercings on her face that I believe aren't very noticeable. This clearly hurt my feelings even more. It also hurt that my brother was too cowardly to tell me that I wasn't a part of the wedding. Me and my sister don't look good enough for the wedding party. I talked to my mom and she said that the color palette I received was actually for all of the wedding guests, including children, down to exactly what color tie should be on my son and that they must have suspenders. I've recently heard of a dress code for all of the wedding guests, but I personally think it's ridiculous. I'm not a part of the wedding, but I'm expected to buy a new dress and clothes that fit into the 3 appropriate colors for me, my husband, and my 3 children. It's all just bugging me and blows my mind how weddings have become so superficial. Are you guys accepting the invite after that, or are you returning to sender? I feel like you'd still want to be there because your brother's getting married, but at the same time, that's the reason. Too big? What do you mean? What does someone's weight have anything to do with it? And piercings, is piercings maybe because of the Mormon part of it? That piercings aren't allowed? Piercings weren't allowed in my church growing up. I actually got kicked out of the church choir because I had my ears pierced. Just saying. And no, I was not Mormon. Although if you looked at me, you probably would have thought I was. My grade school friends always asked me and joked if I was Amish. Just genuinely, because if you saw some of my attire, I genuinely looked like it. I'm off track. That's a story for another day. Part of me wants to return to sender in terms of the bride, but for brother's sake, I will accept the invite, I guess. I don't know, I'm not happy about it. Next story. I'm going to a wedding in 3 months and I'm so worried. Why? Tell us. Long time lurker here, but first time poster. It's been a long year since I was asked to be in my friend's bridal party. We will call her Bailey. From what she's told me, I already wonder if they should be getting married. Finances are bad. She is finishing post-secondary school and not on the same page about kids with her partner, but the list goes on. My only goal has been to be a very supportive friend and help with the wedding any way I can. I've made it a priority for me to not let her know opinions regarding anything to do with the wedding. Just just support her decisions because she has enough people stressing her out already. It's ridiculous. It's been difficult now that we live 3+ hours apart, but we try to keep up with planning through texts, and I've made time for the bridal and bachelorette parties. Where I'm starting to get resentful is with the money I've invested so far and where she's putting hers. I'm just looking to vent. To start, the wedding and reception venue is on their country property. She set a budget of under $20,000, and with her family paying for all the food, the tent, florals, and dress, it leaves me wondering why she isn't putting money towards amenities for the guests. For context, the property is so far from town that taxis or Uber will not be able to come to the property. So you will have to make your overnight accommodations in town, but can't get to or from the wedding if you plan to drink. Oh, meaning you'd have to drive. When she told me this, I was completely baffled because she has a lot of family traveling away, including myself and my partner, and she will be providing alcohol on site, also without a liquor license. Oh, well,
that's illegal.
So I wondered how she expected 100 people to get there and back that night because she doesn't want anybody staying in her household. She offered to have people camp or bring trailers, but there will be no showers. Besides portable bathrooms they will be bringing in for the day, I'm going to have to spend $500 to rent a trailer with a shower and AC. She said, well, I thought about a shuttle service at the end of the night, but they wanted $600 for 4 hours of taking people home. Like, be so for real. You're not paying for anything for the venue. You need to factor the cost in if your venue can't reasonably accommodate guests. In my hometown, a handful of my friends have provided shuttle because the wineries where a lot of weddings are, Ubers do not go out that far. So my friends have provided shuttles up until like a certain time in the night. And if you choose to drink, you can hop on the shuttle. And if not, then you gotta drive. But at least the option's there. Finally, her mom convinced her to have a small shuttle from 9 to 1 a.m. to take people back, but not bring them back in the morning. So if you drive there, you'll have to find somebody to bring you back to get your car. I don't know, you guys. This just seems, that part seems pretty normal. Just don't drink.
Simple.
Most of the weddings I go to, I'm designated driver. I'm not drinking. I don't know. That part just seems normal to me. I don't know. Is that not normal? I'm glad she at least got travel for the night arranged with the liability of people drunk driving. I'm still not banking on this being an option for myself though. It's just a whole inconvenience, which is fine if it was just me going myself. I would tent with friends and find somewhere to go shower after making florals, setting up chairs and tables, and refilling ice boxes in the heat, which she has implied we will be doing. No official list of tasks or plans, so I'm planning to just run around in full hair and makeup at this point. My partner was invited and he accepted before realizing the hot mess that is this wedding. She asked me if my partner can run around the whole town to every convenience store the morning of the wedding and go pick up all the ice for them, because they don't have a freezer space to hold ice for the coolers and beer prior to. I managed to convince him to help out considering all the tasks I've been assigned. I won't be able to be with him until the reception. He's pretty pressed about it. For my sake, because I've complained so much to him about it and that she should have just asked him herself. I'm so caught in the middle, I just pray that this goes well. I have to add another thing about the bachelorette. I'm based in North America and I'm not sure about customs. Bring your own booze and food and money for dinner one night. That total came to about $500 for me. For one night? Huh? A month before this, we had a visit and she told me that she wasn't paying anything for the trip. And she asked if I thought that that was okay. Well, she already got everyone's e-transfers, so obviously she had already made up her mind. I'd understand a night out and we pay, but this was an entire weekend and she told nobody else this. Between this dress costing $450 after alterations, because it was a horribly cheap dress, travel, her bridal showers, bachelorette, gift, hair and makeup, which she told me that she thought about treating us to, but she doesn't want to pay for it. I'm over $2,000, way more than I was expecting to pay for a farm wedding. Whatever, this is my first wedding and I've learned my lesson. But what grinds my gears the most is her comments about money. Oh, well, we're inviting 150 people since most of them will pay for their plate with the gift they'll give. When I brought her flowers for her bridal shower because I couldn't afford another gift on top of the one for her wedding, she commented, "But you're getting me another gift, right?" Oh my God, with the money you're saving from family paying, no venue cost, and the stag and doe raffle, I know the wedding is already paid for. I've kept my mouth shut about every little thing, from order of hair and makeup to playing wait staff for the day. It's really put a damper on our friendship, and I'm seeing her in a whole new light. This almost hustler mindset, like how much stuff can I get for free, and ask of family and friends so I don't have to pay. My partner cannot stand her behavior, so he's only going to the wedding to support me. I think what hurts most is knowing that I won't receive the same support from her when I get married. I think she's going to be accidentally pregnant and have no time or money to be in a bridal party, which was something I'd really hoped before being in hers. Are we accepting the invite or returning to sender? I think we're just gonna accept the invite. I mean, you're this far in, you've spent this much money. There's no way you're not going to the wedding, so you're gonna have to take that invite. And I agree, yes, weddings have become, some of them can be superficial, others more modest. It really just depends. Luckily, I have wonderful friends. Next story, wearing a banned wedding color that was only updated 24 hours before the ceremony. I wonder what color got banned. Well, besides white, obviously. A short one from a wedding last weekend. We went to a family friend's wedding, having been invited a few months before. There was a wedding website, which at the time we were invited, they politely asked the guests to avoid wearing mint green for women and green suits for men, okay, as these were the colors of the bridal party. Not a problem for either of us, and this was and is a very fair request. Come the day of the wedding, we've ended up both wearing blue. I am in a light blue dress and my partner is in a darker blue suit. We get to the venue, we chat with the family, and we sit through the ceremony. Afterwards, in the cocktail hour, someone, perhaps a family member of the groom, comes over to us and passes on that the newlyweds are unhappy that we are wearing the colors they asked guests not to wear, and that when the photographer calls everyone together for a group photo in a little while, please can we make sure that we are not in the photo. We were, of course, very confused as the only colors we were asked to avoid were light green and a green suit. And we were told that the website was updated the day before to include a new ask that no one wears blue of any shade. Apparently, they had seen something online the week of the wedding in which select guests are asked to represent their something blue, and so they had thought it'd be nice for this to be their grandparents. I'm not checking that a day before the wedding, I'll tell you that right now. That wouldn't even cross my mind. How would I know you updated it?
What do you mean?
I agree that this is a lovely thought, but the only update that was given was in the existing text on the website. If we had received a text or a message, of course we would have known about the change. When the time came for the picture, everyone wearing blue was ushered out of the shot as promised. There were around 30 guests at a 100-person wedding, mostly men in navy blue suits, and everyone was saying that they hadn't known about the change in the dress code. Well, thank God it wasn't just you. This chat rumbled on throughout the night, and as a very loose figure, maybe 3 or 4 guests had spotted the edit compared to the nearly 100 people who hadn't. Even the bridal party's plus ones had been caught up in it, as no one in the bridal party had been told about the change, meaning that the photographer had to try and take photos of the bridesmaids dancing with their partners and husbands, but not get the blue-suited partners in the shot. I do not envy the editing that the photographer will be doing. In short, maybe don't try and shoehorn in an idea from TikTok the week of your wedding, especially if it includes guests, without very clearly telling the guests about it. I mean, they didn't even tell the bridal party about it. The closest people to you didn't even know. That's crazy. Crazy. I mean, return to sender this whole idea at this point. Great idea. You did it a little last minute. You can't be mad at this point. That's crazy. returning to sender on the last minute change idea, but we're gonna go. We're gonna keep the invite. If I was the only one who showed up in blue and you were mad at me, I might be returning to sender. But the fact that a lot of people didn't know, I don't feel as bad. You know? All aboard Hydration Station. You need to drink your water today, and so do I. Cheers. I'm gonna need a refill to keep filming. Hydrated queen. I am driving this train, y'all, and you better be riding it with me. Next story. Spent $1,500+ to be a bridesmaid and got iced out by the bride on her wedding day. I was asked by a close friend to be a bridesmaid in her wedding. The other 3 bridesmaids are her best friends, basically her tight-knit clique. Are you trying to kill me? I've known her for a long time and I thought that we were close too, but this whole wedding season made me realize what a biatch she is. Here's the rundown of everything that happened. We have a point form list. Number 1, I spent over $1,500 on her 3-day destination joint bachelorette and bachelor trip out of state. After the trip, her clique decided the groomsmen and bridal party, 8 people, should also pay the bride and groom share, which was an extra $350 on top of what I already spent. So $1,850 for 3 days. Next, I brought my own bridesmaid's dress. Next, we got into multiple fights because I couldn't make it to her dress fitting and bridal shower. I had job interviews I needed to prepare for. Her clique made it to every fitting, of course. Next, her clique also handled a lot of the actual wedding coordination for her, like vendor communication and other planning tasks. So I'm sure that's where a lot of her point of contention came from. Another fight started when my husband asked a simple logistical question, whether the rehearsal dinner was paid for, and the bride told him not to bother coming, assuming that he was trying to mooch a free meal. She only backtracked and re-invited him once she realized it was just a normal question. Next, she wanted to charge guests $150 if they no-showed the wedding, and her clique fully encouraged it. What if someone got sick or had a family emergency? What do you mean? She scheduled the rehearsal for 11 a.m. on a work day, then the rehearsal dinner for 6 p.m. at a venue 2 hours from where everyone lives. Everyone had to take paid time off and just sit around for 7 hours with nothing to do in between, when she easily could have scheduled the rehearsal later in the day. On the wedding day, after taking photos of all the bridesmaids together, she asked specifically for a photo of just her and her clique, leaving me standing there awkwardly off to the side. In her thank you speech, she thanked all of her bridal party and named every bridesmaid except for me. Why am I even here? At the end of the night, she made the groomsmen clean up all the flowers themselves so she wouldn't have to pay the venue's $400 cleanup fee. She barely spoke to me the entire wedding day, and I was purposely left out of multiple group pictures. Honestly, I wanted to drop out as a bridesmaid at several points along the way, but I didn't want to ruin the friendship, and I think part of me worried that she wouldn't have enough people to ask if I backed out, so I just stuck it out. Now I'm sitting here having spent over $1,500 of my own money to be treated like an afterthought at someone else's wedding. I feel so stupid for not listening to my gut sooner. Well, by the sounds of it then, you definitely should have returned to sender. Next story, my influencer childhood friend blocked me for months after my wedding, and I don't know why. My wedding was last year, but I still find myself wondering what actually happened. For context, this woman and I have been friends since we were 12 years old. We were once best friends, and although life changed, we became less close. I always cared for her deeply. During the pandemic, she got married and I wasn't invited. I was a little hurt, but I understood the circumstances, especially because I had previously been honest about not supporting her relationship with her now husband. Why? What do you do? Tell us what we all want to know. Years later, when I was moving abroad, I invited her to a farewell dinner at my parents' house. She said she could come, but didn't show up. A few days later, she visited me, apologized, and gave me a letter and a gift. I was so touched that I cried because it felt like our friendship still mattered. After I moved, she got pregnant and we started talking more again. When I began planning my wedding back home, I invited her and I told her I completely understood if she couldn't attend because she would have a 1-month-old baby. She insisted that she would never miss it. 1 week before the wedding, I checked in again and she confirmed that she was coming. On my wedding day, I realized she wasn't there. I assumed something serious must have happened because of the newborn. The next day, say she sent me a bank transfer as a gift, but no message, apology, or explanation. I thought maybe something had happened, so I checked her social media after a few days. That's when I realized she had hidden her stories from me. I couldn't see anything from my account, but when I checked from another account, she had been posting normally. This lasted for months. I have no idea why she did this. My only guess is that she went somewhere else instead of my wedding and she didn't want me to know. But what hurts the most is that she never sent a single message explaining or apologizing. Last month, she unblocked me and started liking my posts and stories again. She hasn't acknowledged what happened and the interactions feel superficial. Maybe she's trying to reconnect, but I honestly don't know if I want to even reopen this friendship. At this point, I'm wondering if this was the final straw and if I should just let this friendship go. Edit. Regarding her husband, I admit that I reacted poorly when she first told me about their relationship when we were teenagers around 10 years ago. However, I never brought up the subject again after their first anniversary, and I've never had any issue having a conversation with him. We were friends once, and I have always treated him respectfully. In fact, last year, I even told my friend that I was happy to see she had such a caring and loving husband by her side. Man, I thought it was going to be more dramatic than that. I mentioned the influencer in the title because she remained very active on social media in the weeks leading up to my wedding, attending both social and paid events. Since she always seems to have a busy schedule, I assume she may have had other priorities that day. It was just difficult for me to see her attending so many events while not being able to make it to my wedding, or at least send me a small text. That's crazy to just ghost someone and then a bank transfer? Like, I would rather you keep your money at that point. That would feel so awkward even taking your money. Return to send. I mean, you might as well have not even sent the invite anyway because she didn't go. So absolutely return to sender. And you thought you were being sneaky, hiding your social media from me just because you're frolicking around? Just talk to me, girl. Tell me what happened. Tell me you can't make it anymore. Oh, come on. Oh my God, they're literally at my balcony working. Oh, they're on my balcony. They're on my balcony. Hold on, let me get a video. Wait, can you guys see this? Excuse me, sir, come back into frame, please. Hello? Look it, guys. They're going up. How is the man getting back on there? He's on my balcony. Wow. Okay, bye. Lila, great girl for not barking, having a man on our balcony. Thanks for protecting me, though. Next story, bachelorette tomorrow and no plan, thanks to fake friends. I'm 36 female, the sister-in-law of the bride-to-be, female 27, and her cousin, L, female early 20s. Her cousin is one of 2 bridesmaids and maid of honors. Given that the cousin has never been a part of any wedding, I've been giving her info and ideas and whatnot, operating from the shadows as a stand-in bridesmaid in the period that she was alone in the party. First issue, the friend A, who's female 28, the bride-to-be asked her to be the other maid of honor, pulling a disappearing act for months, not answering if she was even taking the role or not. The groom had to contact the girl's boyfriend to ask him to push her to answer. She finally did via a wall of text in which she stated that she doesn't have the time nor the money to be part of the princess wedding the bride wants to have. So this girl was a no-go, with the heartbreak of the bride-to-be over the friendship now in shambles. Second issue, the second friend that was asked to fill the now vacant role happily agreed. You would think finally, but no. Another disappearing act from November of 2025 until April of 2026. Finally confronted, she said tearingly she didn't have the time to answer texts with her 1-year-old baby and couldn't be present 24/7. Again, friendship ruined. Third issue. Finally, a third friend was accepted in April of 2026. Me and cousin had put together a plan for the bachelorette in the meantime. It was a lunch in a restaurant by the lake 2 hours from here that only does bachelorettes and graduation parties. Because after lunch, you get to dance on tables and have fun all afternoon. Then closer to home and dinner, and then an event with a DJ set in a villa. All that sounds spectacular. They discussed it, and together it was a go. In the group chat with all the bride's friends, given the date, Saturday, June 13th, 2026. And the plan, 6 out of 10 could come for sure, with 2 maybes. So they booked the restaurant and party place, and the cousins volunteered to be the drivers. All good then? Hell no. This week, people started pulling out. It ended up being just me, 2 maid of honors, and the bride. 4 people. Oh well, what can you do? The bride knows the date, so it's not like we could reschedule anything. 2 days ago, the bride calls me nearly in tears, saying that one of the girls, one that pulled out of the bachelorette last minute, called her and told her that our plan was crap. We didn't have anything organized, not true. No means of transportation, also not true. And that we were gonna be like 2 people and she was not coming to this crap show, and said, "I'm sorry, but you won't be having fun." This biatch. I reassured the bride, better few but good people, and said that we're gonna have a blast as if we were dozens. I talked with the cousin, she talked with the other maid of honor, which texted the group chat saying, if we were to make another plan for the bachelorette on the same date, one closer to home, would any of you come? A couple of yeses from the deserters, but not many ideas. This takes us to today, the day before the bachelorette, with still no plan in the group chat. I'm not canceling the reservation at the party place till they have a solid plan. The snake that called the bride is now suggesting we go to the beach 2 hours from here, leaving at 8:30 in the morning, sunbathe and have lunch because she is leaving in the late afternoon. Girl, this is what accommodates you. What about what the bride wants? She wants to party, dance, have fun, not sunbathe. The other maid of honor is trying to get more people, but honestly, it's not worth it. Oh, and then she added, edit after the bachelorette day. The bride had a blast. The people that wanted to participate showed up for at least part of the day. We danced, laughed, had a lot of fun. The whole day was a success. I don't even think we have to choose here. I mean, half the people you invited just returned to sender and said no. Let me know your decisions on these invites, you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.